Alright guys, so it's currently July 15th, 2024, and this morning at 12 a.m. my time, but 3 a.m. New York time, I took a short position on Nasdaq 100. Unfortunately, it led to a $104.50 USD loss, but luckily we were on the 14-day free trial for the FTMO account. So as you can see right here, I did end up losing $100 on this trade. So basically, my reasoning for taking this trade is that I drew the line for the high and the low of the 2 a.m. candle, and I was using that as my range. So that was on the 1 hour chart, and moving on to the 1 minute chart. Basically, for the entire hour, nothing happened until like the last 10 minutes. So here we got a sweep, which is what I was looking for, and I was looking for displacement lower. But as you can see for this one, we didn't really break through, and I wanted to see price break through this area and close below it before taking an entry. So eventually at around 350, price did end up doing just that. We broke below it, created a fair value gap right over here, and that's where I took my entry. And literally on the last minute, or when it turned to 4 o'clock a.m., that's when I got filled for my entry. And yeah, I mean, I set my limit order here. The fair value gap formed in the displacement. I set a limit order, and on the last minute, price just went up, entered me into the trade, and then as you can see here, price just started consolidating. I'm not too sure if this is just because it's like a Monday, but we'll see as we test further in the future. But it was very slow. Like watching this was like watching paint dry. Like I was just waiting for the 1 hour at 12 a.m. and I was really tired because I have work the next day, which is today. And yeah, I mean, it does suck. I do think it's like it didn't continue lower because there was not enough liquidity to be swept. Like I thought price could continue lower, but I guess not. The order block and a higher time frame, fair value gap, and then another order block. But unfortunately, we did not continue lower. We consolidated, swept lower, and then continued higher. And that's what eventually took me out of the trade. That was at 6:06 a.m. So that's about it for the first trade. I think I did all right with this trade. There was a little part of me that felt kind of anxious, or like felt the need to take a trade. So I mean, at the end of the day, I did follow my rules. It's just I still had that feeling, which I didn't really like, but let's just try to improve on that. This resulted in a loss. It is what it is. Let's move on. As for the 10 a.m. silver bullet session, I didn't end up taking any trades because price, as you can see, just continued higher, and it didn't retrace till after the time frame closed. So basically, I drew the high and the low of the 9 a.m. candle, and I was just watching price slowly continue higher until later on we eventually came down lower. There's not much to say about this trade. I didn't like that price just kept continuing higher, but I also didn't get the displacement or a fair value gap to retrace from. So that was that. Yeah, let's just wait till tonight and see what happens next. Alright guys, it's currently 12:31 a.m. I did place a limit order here, but we didn't end up getting filled. Yeah. And here is the limit. I drew the high and the low of the 2 a.m. candle, and price just went straight down once we hit 3 a.m. which is what I was kind of looking for because there was so much liquidity to be swept. Well, actually, I was just looking for this to be swept to continue higher because there's a bunch of resting liquidity up here. So I was looking for price to just come down a little bit maybe and then continue higher. So there we got a little bit of displacement and a fair value gap right over here in this area. And that's where I decided to take my entry. I'm still yet to get filled on my order, and we're risking $98.97 to make potentially 220. The risk to reward is 2.2, 2.25. It will honestly suck if this trade runs without us, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna chase price. You guys can see here, the blue line is my buy limit, and we've gone past it multiple times. All right, we're officially entered into the trade. Going into this trade, I said I would have risked more, but I think I'm gonna calm down for now. Because I've been on a losing streak, I shouldn't risk too much. But I really did like this trade. I liked how I wanted price to sweep before going higher, because I do think we can continue higher. And that's exactly what we got. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a point in me staying on here. I'm already in the trade. Nothing's really happening. I'm tired, guys. I think I'm just gonna go to bed and let this trade play out. I'll get back to you guys in the morning once this trade plays out. All right, morning guys. So it's currently 7:23 a.m. I've been watching the markets already, and I actually just took an entry. Currently down quite a bit. And on the charts, as you can see, the risk to reward is 2.95. And I honestly have a feeling I'm gonna lose this trade because I'm looking back at all my losers, and I noticed that when price deviates really far from the 9 a.m. low or the 9 a.m. high, that's when I tend to lose. Every time that happens, I always get stopped out, and then it continues in my direction. So I wanted to just trade this today to see what would happen. Of course, it's still on the demo account, so I'm not losing any real money. I'm just trading it to see if that is the case or not. Because like I noticed with all my winners, we broke past the 9 a.m. low or the 9 a.m. high, and then we quickly made displacement back into the range. And then we got a fair value gap, and then we just continued higher. And it was very, very clean. Like price never deviated this far. There's a good chance I do get stopped out here. Every time we deviate 40 to 80 pips away from the bottom or the top of the range, that's when we'll just call it a day. Last night's trade, we did end up taking a loss for $100.04 USD. I'll show you guys this loss right here. So that was last night's loss. And as you can see here, we deviated pretty far from the 2 a.m. low, and then we retraced up. So that's when I took my entry, and then I got stopped out. But then as you can see afterwards, we went straight to TP. So I feel like I got the overall idea right. It's just bad timing. But here we did deviate pretty far. If I lose this trade, this is gonna be a 5 trade lose streak. And it's horrible. It's horrible. So, I mean, you guys can see just a history of negatives. It's not great, but we're still learning. Definitely glad I'm not on my live account. But yeah, I don't really see a reason for price to draw lower. I mean, that'll be all for now, guys. I'm gonna head to the gym, and once this trade plays out, I'll get back to you guys. All right, guys, so it's currently 2:00 p.m. and unfortunately this morning we did take a loss. It was a $104.12 loss. The lot size was 1.9, and as you can see here, this was the trade idea. We were up until we weren't. So price went up, went back down, stopped me out, and now we're trending higher again. But it is what it is. I think for the most part, I followed my plan pretty well. Like I entered on the fair value gap that's created here after this displacement. And earlier I was saying that whenever price deviates far from the 9 a.m. low, or the 9 a.m. high, I usually lose. So yeah, this was the result. I got stopped out here. I just wanted to show you guys that I did take a loss. We're officially on a 5 trade losing streak, which really sucks. Low-key feels like in the last video, starting the silver bullet strategy was beginner's luck. So there's still a long way to go in my trading journey, but I'm excited to learn. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Alright guys, so it's currently 12:15 a.m. and we're currently on NAS 100 on the 1 minute chart. I am entered on a long position, as you can see right here. This is the FTMO free trial account, currently down like $19. Basically, my reasoning for this trade is I drew the low and the high of the 2 a.m. candle, and on the higher time frames, let's go to the 1 hour. I mean, honestly, I did think price could continue lower here, but I did see some retracement, and there was also a bunch of resting highs here. So I did think that price could continue higher because we already swept all this, and this we already swept from this right here. So that's the whole bias, at least. There is a break of structure, and I'm hoping price can retrace up before maybe continuing lower. But honestly, I do think we can just take out this entire area of liquidity over here. So one of my things is, I wonder if I did make a mistake. Like, this displacement was kind of strong, but it wasn't like strong. I was looking at my previous trade. I did break above a previous swing high with the displacement. So basically, let's just say here was a swing high. I waited for another displacement that broke above it, and then a retracement, and then continuation higher. But the range was also way smaller because it was more of a slower day for that day. But here, as you can see, is pretty wide. I just took a $81.12 loss. I honestly feel like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I just gotta keep learning. So I'll let this trade play out, and I'm gonna see how I can improve for the next time. Alright guys, so it's currently 7:11 a.m. on Thursday, July 18th, 2024. And I placed a limit order right over here. And my reasoning behind it was that, so we broke structure on the 1 minute. On the 15 minute, there is a double top that I'm looking for price to draw to. That's the draw on liquidity. Like, there is a double bottom here, but because we had a break of structure here, I'd considered this a sweep right over here. So I'm looking for price to retrace into this fair value gap and hopefully continue higher. Basically something like this. Yeah, I'll get back to you guys once this trade plays out. I mean, hopefully it does, because we're on a 6 trade lose streak right now. It's not great, guys. But we gotta, keep learning and noticing what works, right? And then we'll build around that. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later once I get entered or once this trade plays out. So, peace. Alright, so it's currently 7:34 a.m. It's been like 3 minutes since I entered the trade, and as you can see here, my stop loss got swept pretty quick. Oh guys, that's not looking too good, but I'm not in the trade. I took like a $83.41 loss. That was so fast. I literally walked downstairs and I look at my phone. A notification pops up saying this alert got triggered. And now we are here. I gotta learn some more, guys. I'll learn some more. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next session. Alright guys, it's currently July 21st, 2024. And I'm currently on a 8 trade losing streak. So, as you can see here, it's pretty bad. The last trade I took was actually an accident. I was trying to see how much I needed to risk 1% on the account, but I ended up placing a limit and it got filled. So I quickly exited out of that one for a $25.81 loss. It really sucks, but it happens. It shouldn't happen, but it happened. As for the rest of the week, I stopped trading on Thursday and I was just looking at the markets, trying to make predictions to see if I could read price a bit better. And I mean, I made 2 predictions that ended up playing well, so it definitely helped my mental a bit more. Anyways guys, that'll be all for this video. Just want to remind you guys that you got this. Yes, losing streaks happen. It's really damaging mentally, but you got this. I feel like the losing streaks are a test to see whether or not you've got what it takes, or whether or not this is something you really want to pursue. I know this is something I really want, to turn my dream into a reality. And I know you guys want to achieve that too. Just remember that this is a very small period of time in our very long journey. And as long as we learn from our mistakes and continue to grow, we could overcome this easily. At least that's what I believe. And honestly, it's giving me hope. Or even motivation to continue. Because I know a couple years down from now, our future selves are gonna thank us for pushing through these periods of just losing and mental damage. So, you guys got this. We got this. So yeah, good luck guys, and peace.